One of the most common errors players make in fighting is not taking full advantage of the game's base movement in combat. Fighting has two main movement dynamics, jumping and strafing. So let's talk about its applications. Jumping is your most accessible vertical mobility option, and it has several use cases. First, jumping makes it harder for projectile and headshot fighters to maximize their damage against you because you're harder to hit. This works with majority of the game's fighters, especially if their primary doesn't give them bound. It's also useful for being able to jump small gaps or jump around obstacles to save time. Many of the game's maps have plenty of usable routes, so play around with it. Jumping also gives you the extra height to hit airborne fighters, or with vertical abilities to help you clear a platform. And you can also jump on uneven terrain to throw off your opponents as well. Notable examples of this are the rocks in Badland, or a lot of these slanted surfaces in Roblox Arcade. Just keep in mind, if you jump excessively, your jump height is reduced slightly, so be mindful when you're working around taller platforms. Next up is strafing. Roblox's movement system lets you change your direction almost instantly. So you can strafe left and right at different intervals, and this lets you move very unpredictably and makes it harder for enemies to hit their damage on you. You also combine jumping with strafing to make yourself even harder to hit. Well, at least it's better than walking straight at enemies. So now let's look at some examples of jumping and strafing in game. In this situation, I get on the point to stop them from triggering overtime, and their scythe and slingshot attempt to kill me for it. I decide to strafe around the plane and juke into them, which makes them miss crucial damage and abilities. This buys enough time for me to catch out Boombox's ult to survive and eventually win the game. So next example on Rocket Arena, I take advantage of this pole and the fence to outstrafe their sword to keep close to my Boombox to heal him. Once our Boombox dies, I back away and see Sword waste his lunge, so I get on the fences again and try to regroup with my team who's just arrived in the fight. I kite for as long as I can, being able to trade with their biograph, but ultimately die in the process. Main takeaway is that good strafing can let you stall your death and waste as much of the enemy's time as possible. And that's all. I hope that you can find some good use of jumping and strafing in your games, and thanks for watching.